Here we go again with another predicted 11 and preview. This time for Reading, Manchester United's games, just like a conveyor belt at the moment, every 3 days. This time it's Reading in the FA Cup fourth round at Old Trafford. Now, for a lot of you, you'll be looking at this game going, Reading, FA Cup, oh, come on, second string team. I think Erik Ten Hag will be simply looking at this as a fourth round of the FA Cup in a competition he wants to win. So while there will be rotation, and I think there will be, I don't think it's going to be as widespread as you might think it's going to be. But I'm going to run through my prediction, every single position, the latest team news from Ten Hag in his press conference. Make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe. Become part of the community if you haven't already. The team news in itself, there's some big team news. Right, Diogo Dalot is definitely out, and Luke Shaw is a question mark. Curiously, I haven't actually seen anything being said on Anthony Martial. Let me quickly see. I don't think there's anything said on Anthony Martial. Maybe that's going to be in the embargo part. But we can probably presume that Anthony Martial is going to be missing. But I would say the bigger team news is this. Erik Ten Hag has left the door open for Jadon Sancho to make his return. He is training with the team, and we will see. He's improving, he's making steps, and we will make the decision after training. I think this is a game where we're going to see the return of Jadon Sancho. It's whether or not, I suppose, you think he's going to be in that starting 11. Let me run through the team that played and beat Nottingham Forest 3-0. It was a comfortable victory, a good victory. It wasn't perfect victory by any shape. They had that 15-20 minutes when Forest switched up the formation. United didn't really respond well, and we were a little bit lucky that Surridge was offside by, well, was it a knee? Anyway, worked out well. Second half, United got the third goal, killed it. Ten Hag will be demanding that these players go into this game against Reading without any complacency. And I always revert back to it, but it's that game against Sociedad where Ten Hag made quite a few changes. And that's the reason our schedule's so crazy. We wouldn't have this double header against Barcelona if we didn't drop points against Sociedad. And the fixtures wouldn't be as mad. But they are. I mean, obviously, we still have the FA Cup and the League Cup. So it still would be crazy, but not in the weeks we've got coming up. One change I think that's going to be definitely happening to the back five is this. I think you're going to be seeing Butland making his Manchester United debut. Home against Reading in the FA Cup. It's a good game for it. And I would trust, but genuinely, I think Man United have ended up in a better position here. Dubravka leaving and Butland coming in. I think we're a stronger squad overall because of it. Not that much stronger, but I think Butland comes in and makes his debut. And I also think that we see Harry Maguire come into the back five. Now, Harry, it is over to you, my friend. Actually, yeah, you are down there. Take Lindelof off, and I'll put Harry Maguire in alongside Martinez. I think Martinez will stay in this team. In fact, I think all five. I think that's going to be the back, that back four. I think Maguire's going to be the only change. Now, Lindelof in the first half against Forest was a little bit shaky. Second half, he really grew into it, and he looked pretty good. Lindelof has shown that he has some quality in this squad alongside Martinez. Maguire, it's over to you now, my friend. Prove that you can play as a decent centre-back alongside Martinez. Be a little bit progressive. Be confident. Let's see it. Now, we won't have Diogo Dalot or Luke Shaw after Erik Ten Hag ruled both of them out. And that's why we're going to be seeing Malacia keep his spot on the left-hand side and Wan-Bissaka keep his spot on the right-hand side. And Ten Hag has been praising him ahead of the game, and I think they deserve praise. Been playing well. Still, Malacia is... We have to make more signings like Malacia. Ones that are like 15 mil that turn out to be gems. You see the Caicedo bid today with Arsenal. They put in 60 mil. Was it in 2020 that we were linked with a €5 million? And Enzo Fernandez going from, River Plate to Benfica for like 10, 50. Man United have got to be better at that. Anyway, that's a video for it itself. Completely and utterly different video. But I think that's going to be the back five. Butland, Malacia, Wan-Bissaka as the fullbacks, and a centre-back duo of Martinez and Maguire. And I'm keeping Martinez in there because Ten Hag, I think, will keep a spine through this team to make sure that the tempo doesn't drop off in any area. Not in defence, not in midfield, not in attack. Martinez is going to be that guy to bring that to the defence. I think Casemiro is going to be that guy to bring that into the midfield. And I think he keeps his spot in this team. Casemiro, by his own lofty standards, I think was a little bit off it against Nottingham Forest. You know, the Casemiro we saw at the start, the one that was just like somehow he's kind of getting caught in possession. He was just a little bit of a yard short. Don't know whether he was fully focused or not. I don't know. But Casemiro didn't, as I said, by his own lofty standards, and they are very lofty, he wasn't quite as good. Now, I think the question in this midfield is who plays here. Because in my opinion, I think Bruno Fernandes keeps his spot as well. If I'm looking at tempo setters in this team, Bruno Fernandes, right? There's not really much point in talking about Bruno needing a rest. Famous last words from me there. Touch all sorts of wood everywhere. I think it's wood. Might not be. Anyway. Bruno's injury record's ridiculous. Bruno's consistency in his availability is ridiculous. And I think Ten Hag will be looking at him going, yeah, Bruno can manage this. And I think he comes in there. And certainly, because we've got Forest coming up as well in midweek, it should be a game where we can rest more. If we're going to rest loads of players, I think there's more likely to be rested against Forest than it is against Reading. So Bruno, I'm going to keep him in there. Now, the question, I think, around Eriksen revolves around two players, right? I think it's either going to be Kobbie Mainoo or Jadon Iqbal. Oh, wrong photo. And I really have no idea which one I would put in. Because Iqbal was the player that during the pre-season, he was really exciting, impressive, alongside Charlie Savage. Now, Charlie Savage has obviously gone on loan to Forest Green with Duncan Ferguson. Kind of shows his level at this moment in time. Jadon Iqbal hasn't been playing that well with the under-21s, but Kobbie Mainoo is a player who wasn't the pre-season tour, but someone who Ten Hag saw and identified, and he's brought him in. So it feels like Ten Hag's been able to make more of his own judgment with Kobbie Mainoo compared to Iqbal, and that was off the recommendation of Fletcher. It depends on how, I don't know, how Ten Hag wants to manage it. I think he looks at Kobbie Mainoo and thinks probably he can see a bigger and better prospect in Kobbie Mainoo than he can in Iqbal. It's not me writing Iqbal off, but it's just in my opinion, that's how he sees it. So I'm going to put Mainoo in here, but that could very much be Iqbal. And for a lot of people, you want to see that because he, out of the two, he's a little bit better from a ball progression perspective. Mainoo's more of a physical presence. But sorry, I'll change my mind. I'll go Iqbal. If we're going to replace Eriksen, I would say Iqbal's more of a like for like. So that'll be my midfield three. And of course, there's changes in attack. And this is where it definitely gets exciting. Because finally, we're having a conversation about this bloke. Jadon Sancho. In October, I think it was Chelsea was the last time he played for United. Erik Ten Hag has said, look, we go back to his quote at the start of the show. Erik Ten Hag has said this. He is training with the team and we will see he's improving, he's making steps and we will make the decision after training. I think Sancho is involved. I don't know whether Sancho starts or not, right? Because I think one player who will be starting this game is Facundo Pellistri. Now, Erik Ten Hag has confirmed in his press conference that, look, the way we put Pellistri on Wednesday against Nottingham Forest, it's already a signal. He's not going to be loaned out. He shouldn't be loaned out. If anyone's going to be loaned out, it should be Anthony Elanga to Borussia Dortmund. That'll be a fantastic move for him. So I think we're going to be seeing Pellistri start on the right wing. That's not dropping Anthony. That's giving Pellistri the game time that he deserves. That's keeping a squad happy. It's one of the hardest things to do in management. Everybody wants to play a game. You're going to have to let some people down. It's about choosing when and how to do it. It's a delicate thing to do as a football manager. It's the hardest thing to do as well, to keep that squad happy, because somebody who definitely wants to start this game is Alejandro Garnacho. Axel Tuanzebe, good to see him back in training. I don't know whether he's going to be playing for Manchester United anytime soon, but good to see him back in training. It's been a long old time for him in rehab, so hope he does well. But Alejandro Garnacho will absolutely want to start this game. So that's where I'm a little bit torn myself. I think Pellistri starts on the right wing. I don't know whether Sancho starts or not. I think maybe what you're more likely to see is Garnacho start, Rashford to drop to the bench, Garnacho on the left wing down there, and Sancho to come on maybe around the 50, 60 minute mark. I think that feels more likely, but I'm not completely sure. You could well see Sancho start there. I don't know. Now, up front, Weghorst is probably going to be starting his fourth game in a row. He's nearly played every minute of Manchester United's football since he joined. Scored a goal against Forest, played well against Palace and Arsenal, I would argue, as a link-up team player. And yeah, now Pellistri, you saw that cross that he fired in against Forest. He can find him in the box. Garnacho, he's not really, well, he's more for direct running rather than finding crosses in. But that's what I would go for my starting 11 against Reading. A back five of Butland, Malacia, Martinez, Maguire, and Wan-Bissaka. Only two changes there. De Gea coming out and Maguire coming in for Lindelof. A midfield trio of Casemiro, Iqbal, and Bruno. Only one change there. Eriksen dropping to the bench. And Ten Hag keeping that spine in the team. From Martinez to Casemiro to Bruno. And, well, I suppose right now, Weghorst up front. And then he's making changes with Pellistri and Garnacho coming in on the wings. With Iqbal coming into the middle. And as I said, Maguire. That's some changes, not widespread. Maybe not as widespread as you want it to be. And that team right there, that team should be putting red into the sword. I'm going for United's favourite score this season. 3-0. Sod it. Going for a 3-0 at Old Trafford. Our defence, only Newcastle have kept more clean sheets out of Europe's top 5 leagues than United this season. Equal second with Barcelona. That's going to be an interesting game coming up. But I'm looking forward to it on Saturday. It's the FA Cup. There's still pressure on United to win. Ten Hag, as I said, will be looking at this as the 4th round of the FA Cup. He won't care who we're playing. He wants to win the Cups. Arsenal are playing City on Friday night. One of those two are going out, and they're the 2 top teams in the Premier League right now. There's an opportunity in the FA Cup just as much as there's an opportunity in the League Cup. Ten Hag will not be rotating completely. He'll be making subtle changes. And I think this works. Maybe we'll see Sancho start, though. How great would that be? Let me know your prediction, your predicted starting 11 in the comments below. His face is really yellow, isn't it? I need to sort that out. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you soon.